Hello everyone, welcome back. So in our Selenium with Java series, we were looking into the framework designing, and today we are going to see how we can refactor the base test and also make it more readable so that it can be scalable in future and also the maintenance will be easy. So let's go ahead and see what are the different changes we can do to this base test file. Okay, so if you see that this base test is basically holding the driver initialization or instantiation, whatever you say, depending on your browser selection, it will be launching the browser, and also it will be keeping the or it is sending the driver object to this particular page driver, and which I can use in across my framework, so that wherever I need the driver object, I can just call this page driver dot get driver. So that was the main intention of that. Then we have added couple of other stuff, like we have added how to integrate the Spark report, and then how can we close our browsers, and on test failures, how will you attach the screenshot. So all these things we have seen. Now if you see, the code looks a bit lengthy, right? And it is kind of very difficult to read for a new joiner, and also if you want to maintain as well in future. So that's why let's refactor. So refactor doesn't mean it is not a magic, right? It is basically you are adding different layers to your files, so that the only smaller chunks you will be keeping in each file, so that it would be very easy, and then you are isolating each and every functionalities of your framework in a different files. As simple as that. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what changes we require. So the first thing that I am going to create, I will be creating one file here under this base package, and let me name it as, let's say that page factory. Okay, so page factory, or I can say that driver factory. Let's say that driver factory. Okay, so driver factory, where I will be keeping all the driver related stuff inside this. Actually, like how I have this page driver which is holding the getters and setters, the same thing this driver factory will simply do the instantiation of that. Now I don't need to write anything from scratch, but what I can do, I can directly copy paste from here. So let's say that I'm going to copy this entire thing, even the driver.get, so probably up to this, and put it inside this. Now in this, actually I'm going to write a new method, because I can't write directly into this particular class, right? So let's say that I will do public, and then I will make it as a static, and I'm not going to return anything actually here, and I will say open browser, because that was the main intention of this particular driver instantiation, right? That it always launches the browser based on the browser selection. So I'm copy pasting. For sure you will be getting couple of errors, and we will be taking some of the initializations, like this is the one. So I'll say Control C, and I will put it here, and you will see couple of things. It is reducing the error, but still you can see couple of things are there, and I need to make it as a static, so that the static method, the driver will be, the error is gone from there. Now let's talk about the browser. Now what is this browser? From where actually this browser value is coming? So if you go to this base test, and if you see, the browser is coming from the app file. So we have a app.java file, right, which is kind of holding all the parameters that you are going to send, like your browser name and what kind of environment you have, username, password, platform, whether you want to run this test in local or in remotely to a Docker, all these things you can be giving here. So why can't I take this directly from here? So I will do one thing. I'll copy paste this particular browser name into the driver factory class actually. So let me cut paste everything here, Control X, and take it to here, and here let me assign this. So now you see it is very independent of my base test, right? Means this app file is very separated. Whatever the browser value you are entering into this file, or you are sending from the maven command, it retains as it is, and you can see the browser error is gone. Now let's see what other errors are there. This is just, you need to add the exception, and then you can see it is all done here. Fine. Now this open browser basically launches your browser, but then along with that you have to send this to this particular page driver as well, right? Like if you see this base test, you can see this is basically the one that you are doing. So I will Control X and I will go to this driver factory, and at the below I will be adding this one. Now here what I'm going to do, the driver whichever I'm instantiating into this new driver factory class, right, I will be setting that, which is in my page driver, where we have settled down the, or we have used the singleton pattern. So fine, so I'm going to do that. Now let's see, there is some more error. Okay, no errors are displaying. It is basically showing red because I haven't included that into my git. So I will do that after this session. Fine. So now let's go to the your base test, and here see, the thing is that this driver factory is not an executable, means I can't come here and execute this, or there is no before class or after class anything is set up. How do you auto run this one? So the simple concept is that whatever the logic I have written here, I have taken to the driver factory, right? Now I will simply call the driver factory. So here what I'm going to do, I'll take this driver factory, you can see this one. When I put dot, it gives me this option, open browser. That's it. You just need to do only this line of code. Now see, this particular setup method is auto triggering based on the before class only. Now there is a catch. So if you would have seen, we can even take this browser from the testng XML file as well, right? So what you can do, I always prefer to take this, app.java, where you can take this browser value from your maven command, or you can directly update into this particular framework into this class also. But let's say that your framework is very much dependent on the on the testng XML, means you have to update your browser name into the testng XML, and from there only the execution starts. Not a problem. What you can do when you are taking this driver factory, right, you accept the browser as a string, actually here as a parameter. Now when you are calling this open browser here, you can take this parameter as browser, and you take this string as browser name. This browser name you can send inside as a parameter, and now this driver factory will take that browser, and you can even assign there as well. So there are two ways. One is either you can send the browser name from your maven command line, or you can directly update into this app.java file, or the third option is that you can take it from your testng.xml. So I'm just showing one approach, but I'm explaining the other approach. You can do it on your own, but if you're getting any issues, please do let me know. Okay, fine. So the driver factory is done. There is nothing much magic, like as I told at the beginning. I'm just shortening the lengthy process, and then I'm taking it more very much specific to utilization of those code bases. Fine. And this thing stays as it is, but then I need to remove this driver object from here, because there is no driver object now here. How do I get this then? Because see, driver factory dot open browser, when I'm doing, the driver is instantiated into this page driver. Now instead of that, I can say page driver, and this is capital P, page driver, you can see dot get driver. That's it, and which returns the web driver. Okay, that's it. Now the same thing, let's say that if you come to here, you can see I'm taking the page driver dot get current driver only. Okay, so always use that only. Fine. So we have sorted out the driver instantiation, so that's fine actually there. Now let's come back to this actually here. Now this is a Spark reporting. There is nothing much I need to do here. And if you see here the Spark test result, where it is based on your failure or it is passing, it will be attaching the screenshot. Like let's say that if you want to take a normal screenshot, you can just utilize this, but then let's say that I want to take the base 64 of my screenshot, then I'm writing these lines of code here, right, which is like very much again lengthy, and this is not part of my particular this after method, right? Why don't I take this concept into my util class? So one, I have created a driver factory, but the other one, what I can do, I can take directly this particular thing, everything, and in fact actually from here I can take, okay, everything. I can do a cut here. The errors will be there, don't worry about that. Now here I will be creating one static, oops, sorry, what did happen? Okay, So here I'll create one static method, public static, and then here what I'm going to do, I will definitely return a string, but then I will say convert image to base 64 actually, so to base 64. Okay, now here I will be taking like this. Now here I'm writing this code base actually here. Fine. Now you can see you need a screenshot path, right? So I can send this as a string and I will take this screenshot path. Okay, and now so let's see what is the error it is showing. Just add this exception, and now you can use this screenshot into your Java based converting that into a base 64, or even you can use the commons.io. If you're not sure what is this one, you can watch the Spark report attaching the base 64 image from my playlist. You will get to know that. Fine, now the string is ready, the base 64 image string is ready. I just need to now return that actually. So return base 64 image. That's it. Okay, now you need to do that. What is the error here? It is doing local variable base 64 is redundant. Okay, that's just a warning only. Fine, now you can see there is no errors. Now the concept is that now because I have cut paste from here, now here I need to call that. See, I can't use that string directly from here, right? So here what I need to do, util dot, and I will say convert image, and then this has to be like, if I go here, let me do this. Basically you need to keep a dot like this, and then you like this. Now here it need the string actually, so it need the parameter. That what is that parameter? Screenshot path. Now we have the screenshot path here, so I can directly copy like this. Fine, now you can see this line of code is now reducing actually to a bit. It means that the base 64 conversion, we have taken that into a separate file. That's it. Fine, now as we have refactored this one, let's see that if our test cases are working fine or not. And for this I will be taking my testng.xml file as usual. I'm taking these two files and I'm attaching the image 64. Even you can play with that as well. I'll tell you how. So what you can do, if you are coming to this util, right, sorry, into this base test, now here if you go, see there are two ways, right? This is actually normal screenshot and this is actually the base 64 format actually. What you can do, even this this particular line of code will remain same, extend report.getTest, because I don't want to take it into a different way. My only concept is that when it is failing, I just don't want two different ways actually. Even here actually we can make a condition, like if you want to go for the base 64 image, you call this particular convert image to 64, and when you don't want the normal screenshot, if you want to attach, you can do that. See, everything is same only. Like I'll show you this one. I'll take this control X. So this is the minimum thing that we need, because this is I'm taking from my result.get method, right? So screenshot path is constant whether you are attaching a normal image or a base 64. Here what you can do, like you can attach you can take one app variable. Here you want to attach, like let's say that attach screenshot type. If you say base 64, then you have to come back to your base test and you put a condition. If the app dot in image screenshot type equal to base 64, call this method. If not, then call this method. You can even do that, either this method or this method, whichever it is there. And I don't think so there is a different requirement will be there when you attach a screenshot. Like I said in Spark report image screenshot, it has to be either base 64 or it has to be either the normal screenshot attaching only. So you can leave as it is, but I'm just saying you different options you can do that. Because see, this framework designing, there is no specific that strict rules that you need to follow. Every framework has, every product, every framework has its own way of designing that. The only thing is that you need to understand the permutation and combination of designing the framework. So you should have the ample amount of idea that what are the different possible things you can do in any framework. Then now, depending on your situation, you can utilize that knowledge. Okay, so that is one thing that you guys always keep that in mind. Fine. Okay, now see the same concept, whatever I'm making it, right, these annotations, even you can do with your test engine listener. There are certain framework I have seen where they don't use actually this kind of what do you call your the annotations. They use a combination of annotations, test engine annotation, and also the test engine listener also, like on test start, on test finish, on test skip, all these things they are using. And we will also see that how we can replicate all of these things into the test engine listener as well. That is the only reason I have made this particular driver factory having more utility methods, so that with minimal changes, when there is a need is coming to approach in a different way, you just need to utilize these components, small chunks of components, and you don't need to have lot of changes. Okay, so that is the main intention behind that. Fine, now let me go to this testng.xml, and now let's run the test case and see whether it is executing properly or not. And as you can see, now the test cases got executed successfully, though we have one pass and one test case got failed. And if you see my Spark report as well, it should give me the correct report as well. So right click and then go to the Chrome browser to see the report. And as you can see, one test case got passed, one test case got failed, and also it attached the screenshot as well, which we wanted. And everything is working fine. So hope this session is helpful. Now in our upcoming session, we will be seeing how we can integrate the test engine listener along with these annotations to make this particular what you call framework more readable and then maintainable as well. And also you will see there will be couple of changes into our outputs as well. The way it is printing, we will be making it a bit more generic actually, instead of just printing this much information. Okay, so do subscribe to this YouTube channel, and thank you for watching.